What's going on, everybody? This is Dylan Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, if you have not seen the news that's happened in the past couple of weeks, Bieniemy, the former offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs for the past 2 Super Bowls that they have won, it has gotten into a little bit of a breaking news type of altercation within his players from the Washington Commanders. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, if you guys do not know, Bieniemy, he is, I don't want to say a hard ass, but he is a hard kind of guy to be coached by. I'll get into more in the video, but basically he's one of those guys where you want to be coached by this guy, because he's going to say some things that are going to hurt your feelings. He's going to say some things that you're not going to want to hear, but at the end of the day, he's trying to make you better. And it seems like apparently some of the players within the Washington Commanders and even former players of his are speaking out and saying, yeah, he's not a good coach, but then there are also some players that are saying, no, he's a great coach. Y'all are just some wimps. We're going to get more into this, so if you guys are going to enjoy, make sure you guys do drop a like. It's very much appreciated if you do so. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now let's start off by breaking down what exactly has Bieniemy's past been within the NFL and football in general. You should see on screen, I'm going to be showing basically his entire career of what he's been up to. Whenever it comes to his past history, he's bounced around from high school to Colorado, UCLA, went to the Minnesota Vikings for quite a few years, ended up with Kansas City around 2013. From there, he was there all the way until 2017 whenever he got promoted up into being the offensive coordinator, whenever Matt Nagy initially left to go be the Chicago Bears head coach. Now, one thing you're also going to notice there is he's been a running back coach for most of his career, pretty much his entire career whenever it comes to coaching in football. And that's one thing that kind of confuses me, is that he's been a running backs coach most of his career, but when you watch the play calling whenever it comes to just calling a game, he's mainly been, this Kansas City Chiefs offense has been mainly ran through the pass. Now, I get it, when you have Patrick Mahomes, you're going to be mainly throwing the ball, and then over the years they had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. It's kind of hard to run the ball when you have all those weapons to throw to. And another thing I want to go and point out here is, as you look over this entire graphic of all the teams he's been with and his years of coaching, there's not a lot of times when you look at the record there and it shows that they were below 500. Like, if I had to go through and count it, maybe a handful of times where they were below 500. Every other time, it didn't matter if it was in college or the Vikings or obviously with the Chiefs, they were always above 500 and in the playoffs. Now, moving on to the situation that is at hand, basically what is going on is, as you all know, for those of you who have played football, I didn't play football, but I have known from friends, different people that have played in the sport, when you are out there on the field, what is the coach's goal? They want to make you better. They want to make you the best player you could possibly be. And at times, there's going to be times where the coaches, they're going to yell at you, they're going to scream at you, they're going to say hurtful things. You got to take that on the chin and move on sometimes. Like, there's going to be a time where, say you're a quarterback and you throw the ball and you miss your receiver. The coach might come up to you and say, man, you throw like a girl, you can't hit your receiver. Are you going to take that on the chin and you're going to say, you know what, maybe I did throw like a girl there, maybe I need to get better? Or are you going to go off and pout in a corner and allow them to bully you? Now, apparently this isn't the first time that this has really happened. In the past, there's been many other players that have came forward and said that Bieniemy is not really the friendliest coach, or in a way, as LaShawn McCoy stated, he doesn't really know how to talk to his players. In this article here you're going to see on screen, and as also down in the description, it will say all Bieniemy does is argue with his players. Basically, in the past, Bieniemy has been this type of player. Like I said, he wants to get the best out of you, but I think there is times where players look at him, and when he's yelling and he's screaming and he's trying to not really bully you, but he's trying to bring the fire out of you. And like I said earlier, I think sometimes these players, they look at him screaming at them, and they're not willing to just take the insult and move on and say, yes, I played like trash. Yes, I played like ass. I need to get better. They're looking at it as, oh no, I'm a great player. I don't need to listen to you. Shut up. Next up, there's going to be another clip I will put up on screen where Travis Kelce and Bieniemy got into a little bit of an altercation back in 2019. You will see Bieniemy, it looks like he's trying to talk to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce just doesn't want to hear him. Travis Kelce ends up pushing Bieniemy, but later on you'll see Kelce comes back and does give Bieniemy a hug. It's one of those things where when you're in the heat of the moment, there's going to be tempers flying. Everybody's trying to get the same goal. Everybody wants to win. And when everybody's trying to win, there's going to be some things that go wrong. There's going to be some things that don't go your way. And when that happens, you're going to get pissed. People are going to get pissed. Coaches are going to get pissed. Players are going to get pissed. It happens in sports, people. Now, moving on to what happened with the Washington Commanders, like we said, players are starting to get upset. People are saying that Bieniemy is not really a good player's coach when it comes to talking and understanding how to coach a player. What happened after that happened? Players from the Chiefs in the past, like Tyreek Hill, and I believe Mecole Hardman, came out and said, that is just the way he coaches. I'm going to put a quote up on screen that Mahomes basically said whenever he was interviewed about what was going on in Washington. It says here, quote, "I think I saw EB said it perfectly. EB is going to be harsh on you. He's going to really try to get the best out of you every single day. He's going to hold you accountable whenever you don't even want to hold yourself accountable. And it made me a better player." Quote. He goes on to say this here, quote, "I think what he said was the biggest thing is that he's your number one supporter. Though he will go to war with you like any other guy on your team. And you've got to know that. And you've got to know when he's talking to you on the football field and that he's just trying to get the best out of you. He's not trying to put you down. He's trying to push you to be even better than you think you can be." The thing I think that is funny with all this is the players that are coming out and trying to say that he's not really a good player, it seems like the players are not star players. It's more of like the depth pieces and the guys that aren't even going to make the team. Meanwhile, you look at the former players that are coming out and saying that he's actually a really good coach, like I see here Tyreek Hill, Adrian Peterson, Jamar Charles, great players that he's coached in the past, are the ones that are coming out and saying, we loved EB. We loved having him because why? He made them better players. They're all great players, possible Hall of Famers. You know why? Because EB pushed them. He made them better than they could possibly be. I remember one thing that I did see whenever Washington did hire Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator and assistant head coach. Terry McLaurin was one of the first guys that did walk up to Eric Bieniemy, and he basically went up to Eric Bieniemy. He told him, I want to work hard. I want you to push me. I want you to get the best out of me. And in that moment, Eric Bieniemy looked him in the eyes and he said, I got you. We're going to push and we're going to work for this. We want the same goal and we're going to get it. Another receiver that was already pretty much confirmed that he has no problems with Eric Bieniemy is Curtis Samuel. It goes to show the leaders on the team, when it comes to the offense, they love Eric Bieniemy. The guys that are not really going to be there much longer, they're the ones that Eric Bieniemy is going to say, if you don't like the way I coach, you can get out. And it goes to show with Eric Bieniemy's track record, no matter where he's been, he's always had some sort of success. Whether it be with developing a great player, developing maybe a running back, a quarterback, maybe some receivers, getting guys the chance to show their abilities, push them beyond what they thought they could be. And that's what I think he has the possibility of doing here in Washington. Sam Howell, this kid out of North Carolina, nobody really knew what he could be with Washington. Everybody thought he was just going to be a backup behind maybe Carson Wentz. But now with Eric Bieniemy, there's speculation saying that Eric Bieniemy might be able to transform this kid into being a great quarterback in this league. And who knows? Maybe if Ron Rivera is coaching the defense with Jack Del Rio, they make that defense a top 10 defense. Eric Bieniemy comes in here, transforms this offense into a top 10 offense. Who knows? Now, do I still think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win their division? I think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles had a rough year this year somehow and Washington surprised everybody, just poof, and they won their division. That wouldn't surprise me if Washington won that division. Now, through all this, what does this mean for Eric Bieniemy getting a head coaching job? I said a while back, whenever Eric Bieniemy was hired by Washington to be the offensive coordinator / assistant head coach on a TikTok, I basically said, I love this for him, and everybody was confused saying, why would you leave Kansas City when you have a great job there? You're winning Super Bowls. Because he needed to go somewhere to prove that he can be an offensive coordinator and be the guy calling the plays. Because in Kansas City, he wasn't calling the plays. Andy Reid was calling the plays. Now in Washington, he's calling the plays. Ron Rivera, I don't even think Ron Rivera is really calling any plays. He's just kind of dictating what's going on the field. Ron Rivera is just watching over his coordinators. Jack Del Rio calls the defense. Eric Bieniemy will call the offense. Now, if Eric Bieniemy can go out here and he can coach this team and coach this offense into being an elite offense, go to the playoffs, maybe they win a playoff game, Eric Bieniemy's got a real shot at becoming a head coach within the next year or two. Now, here's something that ownership needs to understand whenever it comes to if they were to ever hire this man. This isn't a guy that's going to come in, he's going to be all, oh yeah, buddy, best friend, yeah, let's have fun, giggle. He's a worker. He wants to work. He wants to put in time, effort. He doesn't want to waste his time and effort, though. I don't know about you, but if I was an owner of an NFL organization, I'd want this man as my head coach because I love the way how he just says, I'm coming in to work. If you all want to get to the same goal, which is winning a Super Bowl, possibly winning an MVP for our team, getting an MVP on our team, a Rookie of the Year, whatever it may be, those are the goals. Let's get them together. And if you're not jumping on board with those kind of goals, there's the door. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But to kind of wrap it up, like I said, I think he's going to be a great coach. I think he's got a chance to turn this Washington offense into something elite for the coming years. Now, will he be a head coach in the next year or two? There's a good chance. Will he get it? That remains to be seen from whoever, maybe if another head coach over the next few years is fired. Will he get the interview? Will he get the chance to coach there? that remains to be seen. But overall, in reality of the way this world is going, I think everybody's getting really soft. Everybody it just expects everybody to come up and hug you, and when you're mad, we're supposed to be like, okay, he's mad, let him be. Flip a switch, get the gears rolling again, get you back to getting to the end objective, which is being the best person you can be, being the best player you can be, and that's why I love what Eric Bieniemy is doing here in Washington. But other than that, that's all I got to discuss for today's video. Let me know what you think about Eric Bieniemy and everything that he's doing down in the comments. Do you think he's being too harsh? Do you think he's doing exactly what he needs to do? Do you like this brand of coaching? Do you hate this brand of coaching? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you drop a like. It's very much appreciated if you do so. And if you're enjoying the content that I do post here, you enjoy anything from sports content whenever it comes to the NFL, NBA, MLB, talking sports, discussing sports news, everything Cleveland sports will be here on the channel as well whenever the NFL season and the NBA season kicks off, and whenever the MLB postseason kicks off if Cleveland the Guardians make playoffs. And also, if you like a different kind of brand of content, I do make TikToks. Link is in the description if you want to go follow my TikTok. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.